This man, we be trying to talk about women's wrestling. This man out here talking about booty, and I ain't talking about the New Day. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. Um, we're talking. We saw the leaked list of the PWI top 50 wrestlers of 2016. We decided to look at the top 10 and see if we agree. I guess we're just gonna go down the list like we did before, with the top 10 of the men's, and we'll do it with the women's. So let's start with number
Wait, wait,
10.
wait, wait. Wait. First of all, I have to address the elephant in the room. I do. Okay. Fans of the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast. If you're just, looking through YouTube at wrestling videos and you're like, this thumbnail looks good, this thumbnail looks good, would you would you click on this? Or if you saw a picture of Sasha Banks' booty next to Alexa Bliss's booty, would you rather click on that? I'm just saying. I'm just, I'm just. Also, you and I set this video up completely differently, but we always do that. So,
Yeah. Were you going through the entire list or like?
well, what I did is I have the PWA list, and then I have like a list of how I would have put them and who I would have put at the top 10.
Oh, I mean that's kind of what we did anyway last time with the men. We just kind of
Yeah.
switched it around a little bit, so we'll do that. And I don't have a list, so I'm gonna be going straight off the Dizome. But um, number 10, Sienna. Hmm. Now, I honestly felt like, now, albeit I love TNA, I do. Um, but I didn't feel like there were a lot of TNA wrestlers that were worthy of being on the top 10 when I thought about it initially. Now Sienna, I think she's worthy of being on this list. Don't you dare get me wrong. I don't know if she's worthy of being top 10. Um, simply because I don't think like the women's division has been showcased, or the knockouts division has been showcased on TNA, but it hasn't necessarily always been a main focus this year. I don't feel like, and maybe that's what I'm thinking about. But I don't know. I think Sienna is a good pick for this list, though. Even for top 10, she's been booked very strongly. I think though, if she would have had like she had a good title run, but if it would have been like that much better, I probably would have been a little more happy with it. Um, so if I'm saying Sienna doesn't deserve to be on the top 10, who would I put in her place? My girl Leah. Can I put her on there? Or maybe JoJo. One of those two. They always deserve to be on there. Um, but in all seriousness, if not Sienna, let me see if I can find the rest of the list because that'll help me out too. Because I kind of know. All right. If not Sienna, I mean Ali. I might have to go with Ali. Maybe Santana Garrett's not a bad one. Actually, you know what? Marty Bell. I would actually for number 10 instead of Sienna, I would personally go with Nia Jax. Simply because she's been booked very strong, but she hasn't even had a title reign this year. And I think that's a testament to how strong she's been booked. Now, albeit I don't think the jobber matches have been the greatest thing in the world, but still, I think she's been booked very strong. So instead of Sienna, I would actually put Nia Jax at number 10. Casey, Sienna, is she worthy?
Sienna is not worthy of the top 10. See, my number 10 that I would have put is not in WWE or TNA. I went with Kimberly from Chikara currently. She's had some really good matches consistently. And I just Sienna she's had good showings, but I feel like we haven't seen enough of her. You know, I've seen some of her matches from before she came to TNA, but I feel like since she's come to TNA, she's kind of she's been almost like the bodyguard of Maria, or she's kind of fallen into the Tyrus kind of a thing, where
I thought the same thing.
yeah. So I can't really put it on the top 10 if the same thing with I wouldn't be able to put Tyrus on top 10 just because he hasn't broken out on his own. I feel like to be in a top 10 you have to have broken out on your own and done your own thing in the company that you're in, or in the year that that's why there was a couple not in the top 10, but there's some surprises that I wrote down, like sort of honorable mentions that I was surprised at that made the top 50, just because they haven't really wrestled that much in 2016. But we'll get to that after the top 10.
All right. Number 9 is Sexy Star. Now, if I'm building this off of the year she had during the first season of Lucha Underground, because that's the last time I watched it, I would definitely say she belongs on the top 10, even at 9, maybe even higher, because she had a really good year that year, and I'm assuming that she continued to grow from that. Now, since I haven't seen her as much, I might would have to put someone, just looking back at the top 50 again. I might would have to put someone like even an Alexa Bliss. I feel like personally. Obviously I haven't seen Sexy Star, so I can't be like, yeah, she deserves it. I haven't really seen her this year, so I wouldn't be able to say she deserves it in my personal opinion. But Alexa Bliss, kind of in the same way Nia Jax has been. She's been good this year, and she's grown a lot this year. And she's shown a lot of potential. But but even without title reign, she's still shown a lot. So for my number 9, instead of Sexy Star, just because I haven't seen her as much, I'd go with actually Alexa Bliss. So Casey.
Wow.
I know, right?
I didn't think Alexa Bliss would make your top 50, but
I mean, I saw that picture. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. The one that you wouldn't put on here so the other people of the world could see it. I'm just saying. But I do love Sexy Star. I just kind of the same as DJ. I haven't been able to consistently watch Lucha Underground as much as I would like to. I've seen the matches that they post on their YouTube channel, but I haven't watched the seasons fully through since season 1. I watched part of season 2, but not enough to really say. But instead of Sexy Star, I would put Ember Moon. I think they debuted her really well. She's been shown pretty well. I feel like she could be shown a little bit more, but I like what they're doing with her, and I like what she's been doing. So my number 9 would be Ember Moon.
She actually didn't make the top 50, did she?
I don't think she. I think she did.
What was her name before? Athena. I actually don't see her on here. Oh, yes, she is. Okay, she's 37. Okay. I did not see her before. But number 8, Gail Kim. I would definitely put Gail Kim on the list. It's hard to go a year without saying Gail Kim had a good year. Unless she's like injured, that's about it. So yeah, I would definitely put Gail Kim. I'd probably move her up above Natalya because LOL, Natalya. Yeah, I would definitely put Gail Kim above Natalya. And I'll talk about Natalya soon. But yeah, Gail Kim has had a good year. But I don't know if I'd move her any farther than 7. just simply because she's had a good year, but there hasn't been anything that's like been like out of the ordinary for Gail Kim this year. That's been like just extraordinary or anything. So I would put Gail Kim at 8 or higher. 7. Casey?
This is where I lose any fans that I may have had, and people come hunt me down and kill me. So let's just do it. Let's do it. I would not put Gail Kim at number 8. Unfortunately, this year, Gail Kim would not make my top 10. Just because it is a top 10 of women in wrestling in general, and I feel like I've seen more from other people. I mean, yes, Gail Kim has had a great year, and she always does, but I don't think there's anything that she's done other than, Hall of Fame that really was like, oh my God, that was amazing. She hasn't had any knock your socks off matches. I don't think she hasn't. She's just been good Gail Kim. So just because of that, I would not put her there. And I'm about to get even more hate. I would put Emma there. She has been out for I think since May is when she got hurt. But before that, I think she was having good matches. She was doing, she was actually starting to make me not hate Dana Brooke as much, which is amazing. I think they were actually doing really good together as a team. I don't like that they're, going to bring Emma back and change her gimmick, because I really liked the heel Emma gimmick. I think it was amazing. But I would put Emma at my number 8 spot.
All right. Real quick, thank you, Marcus, for joining us here for the top 10. He's wondering where China was, and well, she
this is for 2016.
Yeah, it's for 2016, so she didn't wrestle this year. That's why she's not on the list. And also, yeah, Casey is sick, by the way. He noticed.
Yeah, I am. I know. I sound amazing.
All right, number 7, Natalya. Natalya in the top 10. Natalya don't deserve to be in the top 50. This girl ain't done nothing since she debuted. Not really, but I just don't know. Stop it. Natalya, number 7. Get the heck out of here. She does not deserve to be number 7. Now, she did have that interesting heel turn, and that was about as far as they went with that. She turned, and that was it. So, no, Natalya does not deserve to be number 7. And honestly, I don't know who I'd put in Natalya's place. Since Ivelisse is on this, I'm going with her, even though I haven't watched her all year. I would put someone I haven't watched all year over Natalya. But Ivelisse, from what I've seen of Ivelisse, she's actually really good. Considering she came from Tough Enough, where LOL, what is wrestling? I feel like she's actually been really good. From what I've seen of her in Lucha Underground, I think she's been, really good. Why is Natalya here, Marcus? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. She don't deserve it. But I mean, like as far as like a maybe all-time list, maybe. But then again, we can still go back to the fact that she hasn't been really wrestling that much. I mean, she had that flatulence problem though. That was pretty cool. That's good. Get me. Casey, number 7, Natalya, bruh.
Since she has been in WWE, and I didn't watch any of her stuff before WWE, so I don't know what she did before that. Since she's been in WWE, has she ever had a year where she would be in the top 10? And it's not her fault. It's WWE just not doing anything with her. Ever. She had, I think, 1 or 2 title runs that I don't remember because that's how memorable they were, because that's how they push her, because she's a heart. But obviously, she would not make my top 10. She would not make my top 50. She might make my top 100. At 100. My number 7 is my baby. You know, she would have been on here, but DJ wanted to take away that love and the happiness of my heart. Alexa Bliss would be my number 7. You know, I think she is definitely doing good. I think she has she still is really green. You know, she still needs a lot of work. I admit that, but I think she's taken what they've given her and she's run with it. She's good on the mic. The you know that the interview that she and Carmella did the other night was, I thought it was gold. I thought they worked really well together. She's getting better in the ring. Obviously, she needs work still.
She's a monster heel, though. I don't care what anybody says. She's one of the best. Like, and it's so believable.
Yeah. And part of it, honestly, I think is if you've ever watched like her like Snapchats, or I think she did like a live feed on Facebook or something at one point. She's like the sweetest girl, like in real life. Like her actual personality is like the sweetest girl, and I think that's kind of, you know, they say you kind of, you know, take on, you know, obviously you take on a different gimmick, and I think she does it so well just because her real personality is so different. She's so like sweet, which is but either way, you know, she's done really well with it. Carmella also, she didn't make my list, but she would be like 11. She's my 11. Yeah. Carmella, you my 11 girl. Yeah. Okay, maybe not 11, but like you're on the top 50.
Already. Number 6 is Jade, and I honestly would put Jade above Becky Lynch. I would switch. I would put Becky. I would move Becky Lynch down to 6. Put Jade at 5 and Bayley at 4. I might even put Bayley higher than that. I don't know yet, but I would put Becky Lynch at 6. I think Jade's had actually a pretty good year, considering this was like the first year that she was actually on her own and able to kind of do what she was able to do, and the pants. You know, we can't forget. But I honestly, I feel like Jade, just from a wrestling standpoint, is really good. Jade deserves more chances than she gets right now. And I think it is because she's relatively unknown right now. And then that's kind of what's keeping her from being more than what she is. But I think Jade had a really good year. Able to be knockout champion, it was must see. I think, you know, Casey and I have talked about this before. We were really excited to see her versus Gail Kim, and I don't think we still really even saw that yet. We haven't saw that true matchup yet, and I think it's coming up sometime soon, so that's going to be pretty good. But she was able to go from being like kind of second or third fiddle in the doghouse. I sound like freaking The Beautiful People. Second or third fiddle in the dollhouse to being kind of one of the mainstays in the Knockouts division. And I think that's what makes me put her up a little bit higher on this list than she's represented here. Now, I don't know if I'd necessarily put her in the top 5, but what I'm looking at right now, I would definitely move her up. I think she's had a better year than Becky Lynch, personally. Casey, Jade, number 6.
I would put her higher than number 6. My number 6 is a tough position to pick right now. Trying to decide between Bayley and Becky Lynch if I want to put who I want to put at number 6. I'm gonna put Becky at number 6. Um, just because she's had an okay year, but I feel like for being the quote unquote first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, she could have had a better year. I feel like.
It kind of took too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It took too long for a champion. It was kind of like, and I know you didn't agree with me on the men's version of this, but it was kind of like how I felt about Dean Ambrose. Like, yeah, he won the title, but before that, what was he doing? He was just kind of playing second, third fiddle.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say on that one?
No.
All right. So yeah, I would move Becky Lynch to 6. I would move Jade up to 5. Bayley at 5. I think that's low for her. Honestly, I think Bayley's had a better year than Sasha has, and I enjoy Sasha a lot. So Sasha would come down to 4. Bayley would move up to 3 for me. Yeah, Bayley would move up to 3 for me. The reason I'm saying that is Bayley she almost carried the women's division in NXT on her own for a little bit there. She was like kind of on her own as the NXT Women's Champion. We were all hoping she would come up, but then again, we knew if she came up, what's going to happen to the women's division in NXT. So I would definitely have to, the female John Cena as she does have a character similar to John Cena when you think about it. It's very positive, very upbeat. But I do think that Bayley should be higher just because of the way she was able to carry the women's division in NXT. Honestly, in my opinion. So I would put Bayley higher, probably around 3. Casey, Bayley at 5?
I like Bayley at 5. I would put her higher if they kept her in NXT longer to kind of help keep the NXT kind of afloat at this point. Just because after Bayley left, it was kind of like, oh no, what do we do now? What do we do now? And then Ember Moon did come in, but I just think it was a little bit too soon. Obviously, we all wanted Bayley to come up to the main roster. We wanted her to come to the main roster a lot earlier than that. But then, it was like, okay, if Bayley comes to the main roster, who is going to be there to take on Asuka? It's to the point where they had to, sign Mickie James again to have anybody that you even could think about going up against Asuka. Now, maybe Ember Moon could, but I don't know if they've pushed her enough to where the casual fan believes it or not. I think she could, have a great match with Asuka, but the casual fan may not think that, or the TNA fan may not think that.
Yeah. Are you using a plug-in mic, Casey?
What?
Are you using a plug-in mic?
No.
Something is rubbing. I don't know what it is.
Is it my awesomeness?
I'll continue. Number 4 is listed as Becky Lynch, and like I said, I will move her down to probably about 6. I think she's had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but I think too, kind of the issue with Becky Lynch is good, but she's always playing second fiddle a little bit, or third fiddle or fourth fiddle when it comes to the 4 horsewomen. She didn't get that NXT championship run, which was fine, or NXT Women's Championship run, which was fine. But then when she went to the main roster, she kind of played the same role. Sasha, it was up at the top, Sasha and Charlotte, and then Becky Lynch. And I think that's what hurts her. And even now that she's the SmackDown Women's Champion, it kind of felt like it was too late. Like I said before, it kind of felt like it was too late. Kind of in the similar situation with Dean Ambrose, where it was just like she was in the background too long before they were like, oh, now she's champion, you should love her. Now I do like Becky Lynch. I like Becky Lynch a lot, but I would put her at number 6 in this list. Casey, Becky Lynch at number 4.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is not at number 4 for me. I put Jade at number 4 for me. Kind of like you said earlier, she's had a better year. She's been able to break away from the dollhouse and do really well on her own. She had a good title run, even though it was way too short, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't seen her in a while, so I don't know. I don't know if she's injured or what's going on with that. But I hope we see her again soon. She's one of the best that TNA has right now. Obviously Gail Kim's not going to be there forever, and they have some good women on the roster. I feel like right now they just need to develop them more, and I think Jade so far is pretty well developed. She obviously needs more work still to go on, but I think she's one of the ones that could kind of help keep that Knockouts division going right now. Just because they have Maria and they have Allie, but at this point in the storyline, Allie doesn't even know how to wrestle. Maria doesn't wrestle. We essentially have a Knockouts division that doesn't wrestle. So, and then Madison Rayne is just kind of there sometimes.
All right. Let's get to number 3. Number 3 is Asuka. And no. To me, Asuka's had a better year than Sasha Banks. I mean, you could venture to say Asuka's had a better year than Charlotte because Asuka hasn't put like Asuka is like there's Shinsuke to me, and then 1A is Asuka. Now I would honestly put Asuka at number 2 on this list, but overall, I would say that Asuka has had a really good year. I think the only reason I would put her as 1A underneath Shinsuke is that Asuka, she hasn't had a bad match, but there's been some matches where it's just been like, that could have been booked a little bit better, and probably in the opponent's favor more than her. And I feel like Asuka should be number 2. I think she's had a better year. Honestly, I think she's had a better year than Sasha has. So I would put Asuka at 2. I would put Sasha at 3. And then obviously we can see who my number 1 is if you narrow it down at this point. But I'll get to that here in a second. Casey, number 3, Asuka? Or as Justin would say, Asuka?
Asuka? Asuka? Asuka is my 2B, formerly known as my number 3. I would keep her at number 3, personally. Yeah.
Oh, I went through an entire Asuka thing without saying she's the best in the world. By the way, she's the best in the world. She's not gonna be number 1 on my list, and I'll explain that here in a second. But she's the best. All right, number 2, Sasha. No, I love Sasha. I do. I think Sasha's great. But let's look at how Sasha's been built or been booked this year. It hasn't been that great, really. She's lost a lot of matches. She's lost big matches on pay-per-view. And in a similar situation with Becky, in the same way, it kind of took too long for her to get the title. Now, albeit I get it, they're building this feud with Charlotte real hard. But 2, I feel like Sasha just, she's been good as Sasha is, but I don't think this is last year for Sasha. This is this year for Sasha. This is 2016. So in 2015, I probably would have put Sasha 1. But this year, I would have to put her at 3 simply because she hasn't really been booked the way Sasha should be booked. So I would put Sasha at 3, Asuka at 2. And Marcus says that her booking has been terrible as well. So he agrees. Casey, number 2, Sasha Banks.
See, the Four Horsewomen booking has just been horrible since they came up to the main roster. It's been terrible. Because the problem with WWE at this point is they see, oh, hey, This works really, really well in NXT. They loved this match. Let's do all of that again. It'll be magic. Yes, Sasha and Charlotte had great matches in NXT. You know, the four horsewomen all had great matches with each other in NXT. That doesn't mean we want to see every single match that they had in NXT over again on the main roster. I mean, yeah, in the future, but this is way too early. I get that they're trying to push this title, this feud really hard, but I think in a way it's too early.
Yeah, I mean, but I think too, it's the fans' fault for that, because the fans continue to chant, we want Sasha, and and we want Bayley. Not necessarily the same for Charlotte, because obviously she's a heel, but they've been chanting for the four horsewomen since they got there. So it puts WWE in a situation where they're like, well, we can't, we can't give Naomi a chance, who freaking deserves the freaking world at this point for as long as she's been working to, become what she's become. We can't give Alicia Fox a chance again. We can't give even the Paiges. I still feel like it's the same way. Even with Paige, we still can't give Paige a chance. Because everybody wants the new girls to shine. And I think that's kind of, to a certain degree, it's kind of our fault. Not necessarily personally ours, because we haven't necessarily been chanting those things, but the fans in general.
This man said Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox is freaking good. She deserves much more credit than she gets.
She got that one push so she could get destroyed. Remember that? Yeah, that was real good. I'm gonna keep Sasha in my number 2 because I can, because I love her and she's amazing. That booty though.
I'm surprised Alexa wasn't your number 2. But anyway.
She's always my number 2. No, and yeah, number 2.
All right. Number 1, Charlotte. I agree. Charlotte by far has had the best year. Now, when you want to think about it from a storyline perspective, where she's been one of the best champions, yeah, I would put her there. But from a wrestling perspective, I think she's been the best wrestler just in general. And that comes with the title runs as well. She's been put in the tough situations. All the pressure was put on her to say, carry this division. Now, regardless, I don't care that she's Ric Flair's daughter, because if that is the excuse you want to give her and to say that that's why she's getting pushed the way she is, well, Ricky Steamboat's son, he's not wrestling anymore. Ricky Steamboat is a legend. His son's not wrestling anymore. All of Ric Flair's sons, he has had 2 sons, albeit one of them passed away. But the other one, he's not in WWE as world champion right now. Go back to Dusty Rhodes, a guy who they're revering all they can right now because of his passing. Cody Rhodes was never world champion. Goldust was never world champion. So if you want to say it's the name, I don't think you can say that, because just because you have a name behind you, that just helps you out. Curtis Axel is another one. He hasn't done really anything since he's been in WWE, and he's Mr. Perfect son. So to say that just because they're related to someone means that they're gonna do good, that's not necessarily true. But shoot, Roman Reigns isn't even the real cousin of The Rock. like this man isn't even the real cousin of The Rock. But I would put Charlotte at number 1, because I just think Charlotte has had the best year. Women in WWE, she has. In WWE and just in wrestling in general, albeit I haven't watched a lot of Women of Honor. I don't think I would have put any of them on there anyway. When I watched it the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. I'll be honest. And I haven't watched a lot of Lucha Underground as well. But still, I think Charlotte has had the best year. She's won pretty much every match on pay-per-view. I think they bring that stat up a lot, and she has won every match on pay-per-view since she's been champion. She's just been good. To me, I think she's just been good. Is she the greatest wrestler of all time? Of course not. Was she brought up too fast? Of course she was. But when they gave her the title and said, run with this, do what you can with this, that's what she did. You know, she can't just go back to the performance center every single day while she's traveling and be like, you know, I'm just gonna go train now. She's got to just make it up on the fly and get better as she can get better. And that's why Charlotte is my number one. Charlotte, number one? Oh, it pains him to do it too, because there's no one else left. Like that's like we know because there's no one else left.
You know, it's so hard. It's so tough. Because you know, I get it. I get it. She's Ric Flair's daughter. I get that. I get it. You know, but man, she is not my number one. Nope. Nope. No. I'm gonna cheat here because I can. Because let's face it, half of the women that I'll talk about in a minute after the number one haven't really wrestled in 2016. So how do we really know that they're the best of 2016? So I'm gonna cheat, and I'm going with let's just say if I could have WWE sign any female right now to WWE, it would be this person, Candice LeRae. Amazing. I think she's currently injured. Last time I checked, but she's amazing. She's tag team partners with Joey Ryan. Married to Johnny Gargano. I would love to see her in WWE. She's my number one. I don't care. I cheated technically because I think she's been out for most of 2016. But she's better than Charlotte. I'm going to say it. She hasn't almost broken anyone's back.
I mean, technically, I think if you're a wrestler, you're probably always almost broken someone's back.
No, not if you know what you're doing. No.
Because wrestlers are perfect. That's how that works. Even if you scratched and clawed through the indies, you're perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's why you go through the indies to become perfect.
That's how it works. Anyway, that was actually I think you said you had some more people.
I do.
I like that one. I do. That was a good one.
Yeah. That was one of the best ones. No, there was just a couple that were on the list that kind of the top 50 that surprised me. First was Rosemary, just because she hasn't really wrestled that much in TNA. I know, I get it that she has been, still wrestling in the indies, but what most, sort of casual fans that even watch TNA are going to see are the stuff of her on TNA, unless you are specifically going online and watching indie stuff like, we've talked about in the past. You probably haven't.
By the way, if you're not, Amy is going to tell you to jump off a cliff, so look
out. The same with Allie. She hasn't really wrestled much in TNA, and unless you
mispronounced it.
Oh, sorry. I can't do it. I'm sick. Shut up.
Allie, I got you.
Paige. It seems like she's been suspended for most of 2016. So, yeah. Dana Brooke at 26. I would have put her a little bit lower. And no, it's not just because I hate her. It's mostly because I hate her. Alexa Bliss at 29. Honestly, I would put her a little bit higher. Not other than putting her where I said number 7, if I couldn't put her in the top 10, I would put her at least a little bit higher than 29. I would also put Carmella a little bit higher than 44. I think she's been good. And then freaking Eva, the fact that Eva Marie even made this list.
I think she deserves to be on this list.
She couldn't do sliced bread number 2. She could not. She.
You like this man. Ridiculous. This man
V.
don't
Brian
understand.
Kendrick trained her, and she still sucks.
She doesn't though.
She does.
Like she only sucks because the first time you saw her, she sucked.
Every time I've ever seen her, she sucked.
Are there any snubs from the list that you were like, wow, they were on the list? It's a pretty thorough list.
Amy. I was kind of upset Amy wasn't on the list. Santina Marella.
That's true.
She's still she going hard in the indies. If you watch her.
I was actually one person I saw though that was on the list was pretty cool was Santana Garrett, who I love a lot. I haven't seen her wrestle much, but from what I've seen of her in WWE, I've enjoyed. Because she seemed like she was pretty high. She was in top 25. So I actually wasn't expecting her to be on the list for some reason. But other than that, I think I am surprised that Allie is 15. 15?
I actually liked that Tessa Blanchard was on the list. I think obviously we didn't get to see a lot of good stuff from her in NXT, but she's good in the indies. And she's dating Ricochet, so like that's kind of a big deal, personally, I would think. So I would book her just for that. I'm
gonna tell you though, I think they missed 2 very important people. Probably should be in the top 20.
Who's
at least.
Who's that?
They missed my girls, Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Especially, well, I don't know which one was actually pushed more, because for like they would have probably been on the list if they wouldn't have took Peyton Royce off TV for 3 years. but I think they missed. They dropped the ball on that. Because if you got Allie on this list and you ain't got them, you got Dana Brooke on this list and you ain't got them.
I'm gonna change my number 10. Actually, I'm gonna take Kimberly out of there. I'm gonna put Liv Morgan.
Oh God! Good thing she was on there. Thank God. But that was our top 10 wrestlers, women's wrestlers of 2016. Kind of looking into the PWI list and kind of reflecting on it, giving our top 10. So leave your top 10s in the comment section below. Do you agree with this top 10 completely, or do you have some different opinions? Is there anybody that wasn't on the list? If you haven't seen the list, if there was anyone that wasn't on the list that you thought should have been on the list, leave it in the comment section as well. But we will see you guys later. We hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. Follow us at ICW_podcast. And find the Facebook page on the Facebook, and I'll start posting on it. Because the more people that find it, the more likely I'll be able to post on it. More than likely.
I mean, or if you posted on it more, maybe then people would go to it. I'm just saying it works.
But if they're not in the page anyway, then they wouldn't know that I posted to it because.
Well, then why would they specifically go to a page if there's nothing posted in there? I'm just saying.
There is stuff posted in there. It's just not for me. Anyway,
I'm not gonna go to a store that doesn't have anything in it. Like I'm gonna go to the store.
I mean, you may. What if you want to buy the store? What if you want to put some stuff in the store? Okay, exactly. Yeah.
Well, nobody's gonna buy our group. We're not selling our group. Like, are you trying
Shut up. Anyway, we're leaving. Be sure to subscribe. See you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.
He's trying to sell the Instant Class.